So it was the big Greek drama that made the euro sell off and amazingly come back to this pivot. Just the damnedest thing in the world. It's almost a conspiracy. You could have had a buy limit here too off of this pivot on the daily, but you wouldn't have got filled. But yeah, I was buying this first window when they came into this stop. I bought that guy's stop and I bought all these people's stops, so I feel really guilty. And then I just rode it for about 50 pips on some and 20, and just gonna look to buy any pullbacks I can get to this 1 hour. This is my it's about 20 pip grid here, so I know how much I'm risking. And because I can't do the math, and I just thought I'd do the visual math, you know, and then just put up this. So this internal pivot, this is on the 1 hour. So tonight, if we can come back to this area here on this big pivot, I'm going to get in. So if I time the trade out, it's going to look like this. This top to this key, and then what you're going to do is take the end of that wave, 50% wave, and then just place a vertical timestamp on that node, and that should give you the estimated time of arrival. So 6:30, it's only tomorrow. So tomorrow we could come down into this. If people are long and they have stops in that double wick, they call that like some kind of tuning fork candle, right in here. Or a great place to put a pending buy limit is certainly the window between this wick and this top in time, and then there's a triangle here just before the explosion. There was a triangle here. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of faint. It's a baby triangle, you know. It's like a puppy. Hasn't gone up, hasn't left the nest yet, but boy, it sure runs like a whore. And then, of course, the painfully obvious exit is going to be here. It's probably the most boring game in the world. I mean, you just have to wait. You just had to wait, 8 hours to get paid on that one? You know, about 8, that's maybe about 10 hours, I guess, to make it to where we're at now, for God's sakes, right? But I think we're going to go crashing through the top here. And so right now I'm long because there's going to be a bum rush here since the markets in Europe are closing. But then I'm going to be selling the stop hunt of the wicks here, which I thought, I honestly was thinking we were going to take out these tops here, so I was pretty hog long on that. But I made money on the bounce, so it just goes to show you, trading is directionless in the end. It doesn't matter where you get in. You can just sell here, like put a sell limit here, like duh, right, for a scalp. I mean, it doesn't really get much dumber. You just basically connect all these things here, right? Connect the dots. And look at this pivot. Look how key. This is a 1 hour chart. I mean, oh, that's a daily chart. Daily and a 1 hour. I mean, come on. Everybody's trading the 5 minute, the 1 hour. We can't really count on the 4 hour because your broker might have a weird timestamp. So you really, structurally, that's kind of a miss. That'd be like your gears out of calibration when you're scanning somebody. Your scanner doesn't, chunk across the screen at the right rate. So, looking at it from that standpoint, but yeah, obviously if this, and of course, the news is just another reason to spike the market, because, well, people just spike it. They're their own worst enemy. I mean, come on, people are jumping into the market. They're scared. I heard people in the chat room last night. One guy's got his stop at 170. I put my stop. I said I put 1 million stops in that puppy. Come on, you trading one position, you're going to get annihilated in this stuff. And this looks like nothing on the chart. In fact, there's a beautiful hammer at the end of the day right now on this damn euro. And the news giving you the hammer, of course. And, when there's skies falling people, when the Chicken Little people are out, you're going to make money off of these people. And look at these tops up in here. Like, who had the balls to step in front of this thing, right? You got this triple top. This keeps smashing up into here. And that's the controversy zone because it's this top. Became that top. And they just keep smashing and they're trying to fight to get past this on close of the day. Couldn't do it. So now we're going to build a channel like this, and we're going to give this market more room to consolidate, maybe. But for right now, to me, it looks like this is the channel. The daily timestamp could be off here too a little bit. But this is the up envelope right now. Now, this has to hold, because if this doesn't hold, this would be a big problem, just like the stock market coming unwrapped. These triangles just never resolve in any kind manner. And everybody that, I see these people in the chat room, and they say stuff like, oh, it's too much volatility to trade. And then the other guys come to the chat room and they say, market's too quiet. So everybody has a certain personality, and you just have to fit your personality. Like, if you're an anger trader, you just got to really scale into your trades. Otherwise, you just blow up the account. If you're a precise, you only trade twice a week, and you're risking 100 pips, right, to make 300 pips, you're going to win, right? But if you love trading, like if you just love the whole process of it, then you can overtrade. But that's why I took to drawing. And another thing is, if you're ever doing this with all these orders, you want to go up to this toolbar here and go to options and go to charts, and you want to turn this alt. You got to turn that on. It's not that. This way you won't drag any orders unless you hold down the alt key, because normally if you just come in here and start drawing like this and you pull that, you just moved a bunch of orders, or moved at least one. So yeah, the euro's finally giving us the it's finally giving us this nice consolidation, and I guess you got to adjust all your pip trading to suit the current scenery. Like right now, we could pull back 60 pips still, right, and revisit this triangle. But I think this thing's pretty pissed off the way they've treated it. So I think the euro is just going to go crushing through this top here. I mean, I really thought that was going to happen right about here. And so when it fell through the floor here, if you had 20 pip stops on orders, right, over the weekend, hopefully you had a big fat stop going into the weekend. See, that you maybe not want to hold over the weekend in Forex unless you're in a nano account, right? I mean, you wake up, it was 100 pip, fell out of bed there. But it's trading in people's minds over the weekend, so, God knows. But it's so funny, on the daily, it totally makes sense, So the daily can make sense, always. But that involves having the patience, right, for the setup to happen. And now, if this channel holds here, I'd start putting in tight structures here. Like, you got this is the next barrier to get through. If we're walking up a channel stairway, then the next rung, it's going to be like this. You got to slice it like this, right? You got to picture this thing going up and down, up and down. It's through these parallelograms, whatever the hell they are. It's just an equidistant stack. You stack a channel here, and you just create a channel envelope. And the only rule of the game is you have to keep these on these closes. You can't go for the wicks, or you totally throw off the time map, the Gann factor of timing these markets. So if you pull this node back to here, now you can see a decent window of entry here. You can just put all your vertical timestamps on the ends of these equidistances, and then so there you get your structure. But you're building structure out into space, so you're speculating where this puppy's going to run to, and you can see the path it's made in the past. So now I'd say at this point, wow, that was quite the we are just going to there's so many stops. And don't forget, there's so many stops that have already been stacked up in here. I mean, look there's a stop here that a guy put in there on Friday, right? Then there's a stop here where a guy said, well, that's a low risk stop. Yeah, I'm only risking about, 50 pips or something. And then some guy said, oh, they're going to put my stop here, they'll never get me. Well, sure enough, as fate would have it, and certainly in markets that can literally just spike 200 pips, retrace 300 pips, and everybody's like, what just happened? Well, yeah, if you're on the MACD and you were like a trend trader, you're like, okay, maybe I just shouldn't, maybe I should run a tighter stop or whatever it is. Of course, it always depends how big you are on these things. And just when you think the market's never going to pay you in a outlier entry, this is like the outlier theory. This is what the guy with the 10,000 hours shit, right? This is it. So, this is a key, right? And you would just print this damn thing out. I mean, I print them out because I can't look at these charts. Like, I'll delete everything on here and start over. But you should be able to nail it. Like, you should just come up to like tuning a guitar. You should come up to a guitar that's so whacked out of tune, and you should know how to just go bam. And it's so funny because MetaTrader, that's the default width for that. I'm not even trying. Like, if you're not trying, you're making so much money because you're not even trying, right? And this would be the other. So just to simplify it, right? And then, so here's your rollover. Your double bottom has become a big flat top. And then you build an envelope like this. You just, quick and dirty, there you go. That's that envelope. And that's the congestion zone. So we got to get out of this box on the daily. And if we go to the 1 hour, well, we're crawling up. On the 5 minute, we're drifting up this painful hill. It's just like the worst trade in the world for like people that want to get paid right away, right? It's terrible. But yeah, I think we're going to crawl out of this thing, burst into here, and I put a bunch of scalps for a sell retrace strategy up in there. Kind of a looking for a 40 pip spike. We go to like 112 25 or something, or 45, and then it rips back. Actually, it looks like I'll be getting it at what's it, 1260, from 1250 to 1260. So if they rip it up and then they rip it back, and everybody's like, whoa, and then they're like, oh, I guess we're gonna go, and we're just gonna like, why doesn't Greece get a damn go to Manhattan and get one of those agents, those advertising agents, and hook up? I mean, why don't they just do that? I mean, what's with this? Oh, poor me. Hell, just what is it? That place over there where they just do nothing but advertising, right? Yeah, they should have they should have a website. Greece should have a website and crowdfund it, right? Just like GoFundMe, right? You know how many bleeding hearts would donate to that? I mean, make it so that you can double write that off on your taxes, right? So that Greece, let's how the world just bail them out, like just one person at a time, right? And we'll do it like that. But yeah, market's quiet here. These look like scalps, so I'm just gonna get out and wait for the next phase of drama to begin here. Unfortunately, and the Dow Jones is tanking like crazy. So the Dow Jones trade, I almost wanted that was just, it looks just like the Euro dollar trade where they came down like this and they spiked it. Now they fell out of bed too on the Dow Jones. And now that we fell through this floor here, you can see this pivot came into play where we ricocheted off the top of that as we're going down this new stairway, hopefully to hell. I mean, all these people that have just done nothing but buy their own stock, for God's sakes, really? This is how you guys make money? So at least that thing will take a breather. And let's go to gold here to see. Gold's at the borderline again, so it survived this. So this was the buy on the 4-hour gold. Just top bottom theory, double tops. Here's the big pivot on gold. And look how they just nicked you. And if you got a tight spread in your broker, that was the key zone. And then this is my other pivot here. We just survived that one. So if you bought that one and they stopped you out of this, buying this top, become a bottom, they rip it back further. This double top, I'd have 2 orders down here in gold. I guess you'd have one for here. Like every time you see a turn, you could put an order there. At least it would make sense because you got a double top back here, right? And Okay, so I'm going to get out of this other one here. I got to boot up another, crash the computer here, so I'll wait for this thing to refresh, but yeah, gold's, ready to get smacked. Okay, now I'm looking for the big pullback here and the euro dollar. The daily looks cool, but it's too late in the day. So if they come smashing back to here, I'm definitely going to get in. I just have to come up here and press the button every 2 hours. I set these things to, because in 2 hours the market could come back at least 40 pips. I mean, I think we can all see the possibility for pullback here. So I can just put orders underneath. I just walk away from this thing. If they don't pull it back, this is 20 pips. If they pull it back another 20 right here, so this is my 15-minute order, and this is going to capture this kind of like baby stop hunt that might happen here, because the bottom of the hour is coming, and a lot of these people trade right at the bottom top. I mean, they only want to be in the market for half an hour. This is just too risky to sit in these markets. And here's the 1 hour view of the gold. So this channel here on the gold market, and just hang this off the last known. So we could still revisit down here. You could reload the wagon on a pending down here, 1170. Go to the 4 hour, and let's go to the daily, and here's definitely the place I'm going to have a big fat order right here. The top of this is the internal top. What's it? 1158.01 and change, right? But from the top of this wick to here, this is about a 10. That's about a $5 window there, and look how they tagged it here. So I could definitely see them spike that gold down into that, and then if we go to the 4 hour, that's my 1 hour built channel, but that's what it looks like. Another thing that's nice, when you switch time frames, you don't lose the wave count. You know, you get the real deal backbeat on this puppy. Beautiful little failure to. So gold does have some hope left in it. If it can stabilize here, they can kick it back up. You know, this is the big pivot on the 4 hour gold, and for all the scalpers, they certainly. 3 hits on that trend line, boom. You get buy stops stacking up here. Of course, you had to have the guts to get on a Friday and ride it through the weekend, I suppose. That would have been a white knuckle ride, I suppose, if you're in big. It's always a white knuckle ride when you're in too big, I guess. So I'll just wait for the market to come to me, and I'm barely in this thing, but I'm looking really at this being the retest zone for the moment, just below all these all the eager beavers that want to get in this thing, so it can go all the way back to where it started from, was that fallout here, and this will be a beautiful hammer on that chart. It's not like we haven't seen that, but possible retest. So that's my euro story. I'm sticking to it.